What's up, everyone? You guys are quiet. Is Rohan in here?
What's going on, Justin? Orlando?
What up, everybody?
Orlando, what's happening?
On fire today.
You're on fire. What did you got going on?
I just got off a phone call with a wholesaler in Tampa. Gonna send me the hopefully credentials. May lock this up, so we'll see.
That's what's up. What's the deal on it? How much you getting it
So
for?
basically, he locked it up on Saturday. He's asking pretty good amount, especially in that area. We're just waiting to see the actual details of what needs to get done, but it may be something like a quick fix and then get renters in there. So we don't know. We're still evaluating. I just got off the phone with him
Dude,
right
that's
now.
what's up. Dude, hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, without further ado, Roham, let's go, bro. All right, I'll shut up. I'm gonna go check out a house right now.
Sorry about that. My headset hates me. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Monday's rookie coaching call. Who's got some wins for the week? Anyone want to kick us off with some exciting news?
Just got my hard money loan approved.
Hey, let's go.
So
Is this for, flip?
yeah.
Oh, nice. What are your terms?
Not terrible. 11.25, 2 points. I can read the actual sheet.
What's your LTV?
So the total loan amount is 141,000, 78% of the ARV. Initial loan amount is 91 at 70% of the LTV.
Okay.
Construction holdbacks 50K. Interest rates 11.25, points 2%, duration 12 months. The 1325 is the initial interest reserve, 5% late charge, 10 days grace period. And interest is actually 360. So yeah, not too bad.
Not bad, dude. Not bad. I'll take that for my first deal. That's solid.
Yeah.
Good stuff, dude. Who else has got some exciting wins
Hey,
going on?
Gregory, who's the lender on that? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Haas Lending, HAUS, the base out of like New York, I think. So yeah, she was the lady was super responsive. And I have like her direct line, so she's pretty much answered or emailed me back as soon as like I've called her or emailed her. So very responsive.
Nice, dude. Good stuff.
Thanks.
I think a lot of times when you're working with like smaller, more local hard money lenders, you can typically get some better rates. So
yeah, they seem to be. That's why I went with them, because I was also pre-approved with Capital One Lima or whatever. Yeah. They were only going to cover like 60% LTV. Their rates, it wasn't, I didn't go with them just because I felt like this other company, I could, get on better terms with them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I ended up going with them. They just seem smaller, like what you said.
Yeah, and like the hard money lenders that like we provide and recommend, like you guys do not have to use any of them. We don't get like paid or anything referring you guys to them. It's just those are nationwide ones that we've had some success with and our students have had a lot of success with. But a lot of times those ones that we recommend are nationwide guys that are, typically bigger, that charge a lot more for new investors. And so for newer investors, sometimes going to like local hard money lenders, it can be a lot better for like LTV and how much they actually cover, but also like interest and points, they might charge less. So if you haven't explored like local lenders yet, definitely like go just Google in your city, Las Vegas, fix and flip hard money loans and see like who pops up that's like local in your area. Well, cool.
So do you have to like tell them that this is the deal that I'm trying to buy and this is like I need a loan for this kind of deal? Like, do you have to show them the deal?
I don't even offer on a deal before they approve it. Like I send them the deal and say, hey, I'm gonna offer this much. Is this cool? And once they said yes, that's when I make the offer. Like, um, if you know it's gonna be a deal that you're gonna get. I'm not saying do that with every deal when you're just lowballing the shit out of people, but like when you know you have a good chance for a deal, I've checked both times. I've had a pretty good feel that I was gonna get a deal, and I've checked with my hard money both times. And before like even offering it, they say, okay, yeah, it's a good deal. And that kind of like cements too that you have a good ARV and a good price, because they're not going to say yes if it's not a good deal.
Yeah, I think there are some hard money lenders that you're just like, hey, I'm just trying to get my first deal and make some offers. Can you help me get a pre-approval letter to make offers? And they'll say, well, give me an address of a property that you're thinking about making an offer on. And in those situations, just give them an address, and then at least you get the pre-approval to go out and start making offers. Some lenders, though, they're like per property, they want you to get an offer letter for. So it's going to depend on your lender a little bit. If you need just a general proof of funds to get the ball rolling and start making offers, what you could do is just go on Google and type proof of funds generator. And if you go to this website, bettertransactionfunding.com, you can print out your own free proof of funds letter. And now, from what I've heard, the lenders that are on here, their phone numbers and stuff, when our agents have tried to contact them, they haven't been able to actually get a hold of anyone. But the good thing is you can at least get the pre-approval letter to make offers. And then if the agent's like, hey, I tried to call your lender, I wasn't able to get a hold of him, you're like, honestly, he's been super responsive from us. We're finding a new lender to jump in on the deal. We'll get back to you with some new lenders later today. And then like find 5 lenders, say, hey, I got this deal that I locked up. I'm trying to do the deal. Can you get me pre-approved? And then get a pre-approval right away with like a solid lender can actually do the deal. But at least just to get your foot in the door, if you need just a letter, you can go use this one from besttransactionfunding.com. And I just found it literally Googling proof of funds generator. It's the first link that doesn't have an ad by it, or the third link down. Proof of funds. Cool. So
yeah, Roham. And two, like when I applied for the hard money, like both times, I just gave them like a property that I was like evaluating, and I said, hey, this is the deal I'm evaluating. What do you think? And I said, can you just send me a general proof of funds? And that Capital One Lima, they sent me one for like up to 280,000, just a general proof of funds. So, just letting you know on that, they had no problem sending me that.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of the bigger ones, they get it, but sometimes with the smaller ones or newer lenders, they don't. So in that case, get the pre-approval that I just showed you, make the offer, get the offer accepted. When the agent calls the lender and is like, hey, I can't get a hold of your lender, just be like, honestly, he's been super unresponsive to me too. We're finding a new lender, call up a bunch and then get back to that agent with the new lender ASAP. Honestly, just get the deal accepted, then immediately start looking for a new lender and then just call the agent and be like, hey, that lender's been super unresponsive for us. We're going to use this lender instead. A good agent will typically call the lenders and call those pre-approval letters to make sure that like they're legit. Not every agent's a good agent. 9 times out of 10, agents are lazy. But cool. So I don't know if you guys remember from last week. Today I had a cool presentation plan for you guys. It was going to be treating you guys like private investors. So today's call, we're going to basically go over how I want you guys to pitch private lenders to work with you. Okay. And so I'm going to pretend that you guys are private lenders and I'm a real estate investor. We've been friends on social media. You saw I post a lot about real estate and I said, hey, I'm looking for partners. If you want to partner with me, jump on this free Zoom webinar. Right. And so you guys just all jumped on my Zoom webinar, trying to learn how you can partner with me. And I've been in real estate because I post about real estate all the time on Instagram. So we're going to go and do that presentation. Let's jump into it. Share screen. All right. Today, you guys are potential private lenders. You follow me on Instagram and I post about real estate investing all the time. I posted a story saying I was looking for partners and this Zoom call is to go over what that would look like. And so now you guys are no longer real estate investors. You've never real estate invested before. You're private investors who have a bunch of capital and you want to invest your capital in different ways, whether it's stocks, crypto, whatever you want to do. You guys all won the lottery and you got some money. You want to figure out what to do with your money now. So I would start off the presentation like this. I'm a real estate investor. As you didn't know, today I want to show you guys how you can make passive income by partnering with me on some real estate deals. So today we're going to cover for you how to make passive income with real estate investing. For anyone who doesn't know passive income is, hopefully everyone in this room does, but in case you don't, passive income is what many of us strive for. It's the ability to make money while we're asleep or at the beach without any responsibilities or any worries. This is the dream we're all sold, that if we just buy the following assets, we can kick up our shoes and make money. And here's a list of different common passive income strategies that most people talk about. But to be honest, these all aren't very passive. Buying a rental property, where you still have to manage the property, manage your tenants, deal with the repairs, find tenants, or hire a property manager. And a lot of times that property manager still is going to bug you a lot for different things that comes with renting out a property. Next, there's those laundromats or done for you businesses that you can buy, where it's a business that's essentially almost done for you. If you just go buy it, the laundromat machines are there and they're already washing clothes and people just show up. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have to file your taxes on this property. You're going to have to hire people to manage it for you. If someone quits, you're going to have to find the next person to manage it. Vending machines, ATMs, those are both pretty popular passive income strategies. But at the end of the day, someone still has to service those machines and make sure that they have the product in there, whether it's actual cash or snacks. There's drop shipping businesses that you can go start, but those can be a lot of money out the door without having some success. You can go try to start your own course, write a book, affiliate marketing, rent cars on Turo, on-demand printing, virtual stores, stocks, cryptos, NFTs, arbitrage, e-commerce, etc. There's a ton of ways to make passive income, but most of the passive income strategies that people talk about, they all take work. So they're not really that passive. At the end of the day, passive income is supposed to be where you don't have to do any work and you can make money. But with everything I just mentioned that we're all told about every day, that we can make passive income through these things from all the gurus, they don't truly make passive income without actually putting some work in. So today, we're going to go over an actual strategy that me and my team use to help our partners and our investors work with us and actually find that true passive income, where as soon as they decide they want to invest in a deal with us, they can relax, let us take over from there and make sure that they feel secure, that they're going to get a return on their money and that their money's in good hands. So today we're going to talk about private lending for real estate deals. As many of you know, I buy, sell, rent, and flip real estate. I usually do this with a mix of hard money loans, my own capital, and private lenders. This allows me to do way more deals than if I just use my own money. Because if I was just using my own money, I could not flip or wholesale or do as many deals as I do now. And so what's allowed me to get to a higher level and be able to do as many deals as my team is doing now is by using the leverage of other people's capital. So my business is built off using other people's capital to buy good deals. Sometimes we flip them, sometimes we keep them as rentals, and sometimes our partners buy the deal from us. And we want to show you guys how you can get your feet wet in real estate and make some money with me. So this is a pretty typical deal for a lot of investors, and that would be a property that they flipped using hard money. Now, for example, this property, 123 Main Street, we were able to purchase the property for $200,000 using our different network of discounted real estate sources that we use. We found that after running our numbers at the after repair value of the property was $350,000. From our estimates, we're expecting a renovation of around $65,000 for a projected profit of $35,000. Now, my hard money lender that we work with, they will cover typically 80% of the purchase. And so for us, they would cover $160,000 out of that $200,000. They would also cover 75% of our rehab. And so for us, instead of spending $65,000, our hard money lender is going to cover $48,750. And so now for us to be able to buy and flip this property, the minimum amount of capital required is $40,000 for the purchase of the property and the $16,250 for rehab. So all in, we're going to need about $56,250 to be able to renovate this home. And so now for me, I could use my own money But what I like to do instead is give people a piece of the pie and allow them to partner with us. So that way I've got some cash in the bank still, and that I'm still able to go and do more deals without having to over leverage myself, but give other people the chance to win and make some money with us. So let's talk about this deal. And let's say you were interested in helping us fund this deal and making some money together with us. So first, just to show you that I've done my homework and I've actually done my research on this property, here are 3 contractor bids that we've gotten, or here are the 3 contractors that we're going to get bids from once we actually get the property under contract to verify that we can actually estimate that rehab correctly. And from what I've heard just from my contractors so far, this is their different estimations. Now, my contractor number 2, he estimated it a little bit lower, but just to be safe, we always want to be safe. We're going to go ahead and stick with what the first and third contractors estimated at about $65K for rehab. And then here are the different comps that we found to help support the after repair value. These properties are all located within a mile of the current property. They're the same bed, bath counts, within similar ranges of square footage. We can actually pull up the comps and send you the comp reports that we have as well. So now, if you wanted to be the lender on this deal, I'm going to need about $60,000 to fund this deal. Typically, our deals have about a 6-month turnaround time from the day that we actually purchase and own the property. So after we've closed escrow. And then from there, actually the time that we sold the property and gone through escrow a second time to get the money back out of it with the sale. So ideally, if you would like to partner with me, this is how it will play out. First, we identify a property that requires funding. Second, we do our homework, prepare for you our deal analysis, supporting comps, and our contractor quotes to help you see how we justify these numbers and how we found this deal and exactly what brought us to the conclusion that this is a good opportunity to make some money. And if you see the opportunity the same way we do, you can help us purchase the home, and any excess funds that we use for the purchase will be sent through escrow for the rehab of the home. So in that same scenario that we just walked through, this deal right here, we're going to walk through what it looks like for you as a lender if you were to give me the $60,000 to cover the purchase. So for most of my private lenders, I offer a 10% annualized interest on the amount provided on deferred payments once the home is sold. So what does that mean exactly? So first, that's $60,000 that you were going to give us to buy the house. We're going to see in a year how much interest you would make because we do 10% annualized interest. So in 1 year, you'd make about $6,000 on your $60,000 that you gave us. And if we divide that by 12, that tells us exactly how much we would pay you monthly. And so that total amount divided by 12 would lead us to $500 a month. So for every month that we're using your money to flip this house, you're making $500 a month. Now, for us, we always have our partners on deferred payments. So what that means is if it takes us 6 months to flip your house, you're going to get 6 months worth of $500 a month. And that would be about $3,000. But you're only going to get that once we've sold the property and we can pay off all the debt that we have, pay off our hard money loan, pay off the $60,000 that you invested in the deal, and then pay you your interest as well. So with a typical 6-month turnaround for the deal we mentioned, you'd make $3,000 plus receive the initial $60,000 that you put in. And then when we sell it, you get all your money plus all that built up interest. So if it takes 7 months instead of 6 months, you make an extra $500. So in that case, instead of it being 6 months and you making $3,000, at 7 months, you'd make $3,500. And then after you've done that with us on this deal, if you'd like to roll the money into the next deal, that's something we could do and continue to grow your money with you. Now, this is how we protect you. A lot of times we have lenders who are interested in investing with us, but they don't feel very secure and they want to make sure that their money's protected and that they have recourse and ways to go after us and make sure that they feel that no matter what, they're going to get their money. And so we do that in 2 ways. Now, the first way is what typically most investors do. The second way that I mentioned is something that specifically only me and my team have done. And I don't see a lot of other investors doing it, but that can just show you how serious we are and how we are in this for the long haul. So the first thing that we do is we're going to provide you a note and deed of trust that is recorded against the property. And so when we actually buy the property, you're going to have a note and deed of trust that is essentially going to make you a lien holder on the property. If you're not familiar with what a lien is, it's essentially a loan that is owed to the individual that is tied to the property. And so what you're able to do is have a lien against the house. So if I want to sell the house, I have to pay off that lien. It's tied to the property. And so if I don't pay you back, you can actually foreclose on me and take possession of the property back. And then in that way, you're going to get the asset. So for all of our sellers or all of our private lenders, for every deal we do, we always get them a note and deed of trust. So that way, if we don't do what we promised, they actually have legal documentation showing they invested money in this property and that they have it notarized. It's gone through our title and escrow company or our attorney. And that way, if anything does go wrong or anything shady happens and I get abducted by aliens tomorrow, they're able to do some recourse and get their property back, or at least get the foreclosure and get some of their assets back. So that's the first thing that we do. We always provide our lenders a note and deed of trust. If you have more questions about our note and deed of trust, I can actually put you on the phone with my title rep. My title rep's amazing. She handles all of the notes and deeds of trust for all of my private lenders. So she can help answer any questions you have as well on the note and deed of trust. And if you're interested in that, we can put her email at the bottom here for you guys to go reach out to her after this, if you have any further questions on the note and the deed of trust. But honestly, the second thing is what has separated me from a lot of the other investors that do what I do. And this is why a lot of my private lenders keep working with me and continue to want to work with me. And what that is I personally guarantee their money. So not only the money that they used for the purchase of the home, but the interest that's been accrued, I guarantee that we'll pay that. So what I mean by that is with every real estate deal, we typically make money, but here and there, once in a blue moon, we'll have deals that we don't exactly profit the best on. And sometimes we even lose money on certain deals. But something that we've done with our investors is made it so that way, even if we lose money on a deal, we always pay back our investors their initial investment plus the interest we accrued them. It might just take us a little longer because we'll use the profits from our next flip to pay them back, or from my other businesses that I have going, just to make sure that they're always whole. So this is something that most investors don't do. They don't guarantee returns, but something that we really care about, because for us, we want you to see that we're in this business for the long haul. And for us, trying to do, as of next year, 2023, our goal is to do about 50 flips. And we know on a majority of those deals, we will make money, but on a few, there's a potential that we might lose money. And so we want you to feel secure that even if you invested with us on one of those deals, that you're going to get all your money plus the interest we promised you. And that way, when you talk to your friends and family about me and say, hey, look at this idiot, he's out there spending money, flipping houses, losing money, but he's paying me interest on it. I want you to go tell all your friends and family about me and brag to them about how you're making interest off me while I'm losing money. Because for me, if I can get more capital, I can do bigger and better deals. And so if you bring any private lenders to us, that's something that we can use to leverage even paying you a higher interest rate. So, you know, if that's something you're interested in, we can definitely pursue that. And that's how we always protect our lenders. So even if we do a deal and we lose money on it, I'm going to take my profits from another deal, profits from another business, and make sure we pay you back completely whole, plus all the interest that was promised. And we only do that with our private lenders because we want them to work with us for the long run and see that we're serious. We're not here to play games, and we're here to make sure that we all can make some money together, and you can get a much better interest rate on your capital than you would with Wells Fargo or risking it with the stock market, crypto, any of these other ventures as well. Now, this is what most typical deals look like, but today actually I've created a special offer just for the people on this call today that's going to go over 2 other ways that you can fund our deals and be a partner with us and actually get a little more money, and actually even potentially, if you're interested, make some long-term interest with us and really play these deals in a long format. Sorry, one sec, guys. All right, cool. Sorry about that. So like I said, this deal is exactly what our typical deals look like with most of our private lenders. But today I've actually prepared 2 special offers that we're going to be sharing with you guys on how you can partner with us and actually make some more money than these common strategy that we normally use. So the first strategy I wanted to share with you guys is our partnership offer. So if you prefer to be a little more hands-on, I know a lot of you guys have asked me before, like, hey, if I want to get involved in real estate, like, how can I really get involved? And, you know, being a private lender for us is a great way to get your foot in the door and make a little bit of money. But for the most part, you're going to be hands-off. My team is going to go manage the construction, manage the renovation of the property. Once it's all renovated and designed, We're going to handle getting it listed and getting it on the market, dealing with negotiations, selling the property. So most of our private lenders are typically hands off. But let's say you want to learn and really figure out how you can start doing this yourself. Well, if that's the case, we've created the special offer for you private lenders today, and that's our partnership offer. And so for the partnership, it's going to require two things if you were serious about this. The first, you're going to need a majority of the capital to buy and fix up the property. So most of my lenders might not qualify for this just because they don't have enough capital. If that's the case, we can get you started with our first option or a second special offer. And the second, you're going to need a professional mindset and work ethic. We're going to be true business partners on this deal. And if that's the case and you're going to be involved, I need you to show me that you're going to be serious, you're going to be attentive, that you're willing to put in the work with us to make this deal happen. But if you have both of those things and you're serious and open to doing this, something that we've done with our partners in the past and that we're creating this offer for to open to you guys is actually giving our partners the ability to split profits with us on these deals and be involved directly with the decisions on the project so they can learn while being hands-on in the real estate deal. And then typically with these deals, we'll do a 50-50 split. And so let's see on that first scenario what exactly that looks like for you. So back on that same property, 123 Main Street, with the purchase price of 200,000, ARV of 350, renovations of 65, and a projected profit of 35K. If you have the capital required to cover the purchase of the property and the renovation, we no longer need to get a hard money loan. And so we can be a lot more competitive than a lot of other investors. And if you're able to bring that 265,000 to the table, we'll give you 50% of the profit. And so 50% of 35,000, which is what we're expecting to make on this flip, would be $17,500. So for you, you're able to create a much bigger return per deal if you actually want to help us fund the whole deals and cover the entire purchase and rehab. That question?
Yeah, so I do have a question on that. I'm sorry, I accidentally clapped on that. When you pitch that, are you also like talking about like the repercussions of doing like an equity split too? Because
yeah, like
okay. Thanks. Sorry.
You're good. But that's exactly what a private lender would ask in that, right? Like that's exactly what would happen. So then look, now, while it does sound great that you have the potential to make more money, first, you're going to need a lot more capital to qualify to be one of our partners that we actually do deals with. But second, well, whoops. I guess I missed that slide. I was supposed to have that right here. Basically, it was going to say, essentially, look, if you do decide to partner with us, the difference is you are going to be a lot more hands-on in the decision-making process and helping us decide if this deal makes sense or not. Now, the thing is with our equity partners that are able to actually profit on these deals together, I can't guarantee you that we're going to profit on a deal. And the fact is, if you and I buy a property expecting to make 35,000, but we break even, I'm not going to come $15,000 out of pocket to do this. So for the fact that you guys can make more money with us as 50-50 partners, we will be splitting the losses in case we did lose on a property. So that's something I will tell my lender. I usually have like a slide right after this that would just go over like, hey, if you were to partner with us on these kinds of deals, please understand that first, we can no longer guarantee that you get your interest back. And then second, because it's not interest anymore, we're projecting profit. I can't guarantee that we're gonna flip this and make $100,000. And if we don't, and we only make 20, then I'm gonna give you that other 30-40K that we're missing, right? And so that would be the big disclaimer here, is that if you're partnering with us, you're truly partnering with us on the win and the loss. So if we end up making more than 50, great, you're gonna get half and half. If we end up making less than 50, you're still in that same position. You're still gonna make half and half. So that would be the main disclaimer there for actual partnerships with equity.
I guess the question I was asking though is, and I could be wrong about this, but like if someone is taking say 10% just for giving money, that doesn't fall under the capital gains, as if they're equity partner, that would fall under capital gains.
That would be a great question for a CPA and or
yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure if you knew that, but like I found that out from someone. Like if someone is going money and they're just taking a percentage, that's
Mhm.
not taxed the same as someone coming in and saying equity.
I would let them know that too, probably, and just be like,
Okay.
hey, look, you're
Just,
probably
hey,
gonna want to
check with
talk
your
to your
CPA.
CPA
Yeah.
about
Okay.
this, because, you know, they're gonna have to help you like identify, is this capital gains cost or not? And so that's a great point. I would love to follow that with my CPA and get more clarification there so I can explain that
Okay.
better. But yeah, that's exactly what you do in that situation. Just, hey, also note, this would not be the same as creating interest. You might be taxed differently for being an actual equity partner with us. That's something you may want to pursue talking with your CPA and your attorneys with.
Cool. Thank you.
So that's scenario number one. Now, I've gotten really good at this point where I can do this presentation, and I've had this partnership offer where now my private lenders that do this partnership offer with me, we're 70-30. So I make 70% of the profit. They make 30% of the profit because they trust me, and I've been doing this long enough that they feel comfortable investing with me, and they know they can get a bigger return than the 10% that I would offer them. And so my lenders are comfortable doing a 70-30 return with me. Starting out, you might need to be 50-50. And then eventually, once you get pretty good, you can go 60-40, 70-30, and see how you can stretch it. Now, private lenders today, these are the two main typical offers we have for fixing and flipping properties, which is our bread and butter. But right now, with the market shifting the way it is, we actually created another special offer for you guys today. And with the market shifting, this is our market crisis offer. And this is to really make sure that our investors feel protected and that they're able to jump into some opportunities that have a little less risk and more of a long-term upside. And so today we're going to go over that special offer that we created for you guys. And this would be our rental offer. So our rental offer. First, these are long-term deals, unlike fixing and flipping. Typically, our fix and flips have about a 6-month turnaround time. And so that's what you would expect to be in about on average in a deal with us for a flip. But with our rental deals that we do, these are typically for more savvy investors that like to do something a little more long-term. And for these deals, we typically require a minimum anywhere between at least 1 to 5 years. Now, for this example, we'll go over another property that we're looking at. And so this would be 125 Main Street. The purchase price is $300,000. Our private lender, our DSCR lender, is going to cover 80% of the purchase. So they're going to cover $240,000 per month. Our mortgage plus taxes and fees monthly is going to add up to about $2,097 every month. And from what we've seen, the area can rent for about $3,000 a month for this property. So for us to buy this property, it's already pretty turnkey. We won't need any money for the rehab. We will just need that 20% of the purchase that our private rental lender will not cover. So that's $60,000. So we're able to buy this property. And for you, you're going to get that 10% interest that we promised. But now, instead of only a 6-month turnaround time, you have the potential to make money with us for up to a year at least, and or if not more. And so for you, with that same $60,000 at 10% interest, you're going to get $6,000 a year or $500 a month. And so we're able to go buy this property, use you as lender, and every month, instead of deferred payments, you're actually going to get a monthly check for $500. And then typically after that year, a lot of the questions I get are, hey, Roham, if I wanted to take my $50,000 or $60,000 out of the deal, how can I do that once the year is up? And so typically, after the year is coming to an end, or the 1 to 5 years, whatever we agree upon, once we're coming to the end of that term, the first thing I'm going to ask is, hey, if you like making $500 a month, would you like to continue or extend and do this with us for another year or two? And see if you'd like to continue making an extra $6,000 a month. Because realistically, if you guys are able to leave your $60,000 with us for at least 3 years, you're going to have, once you get your $60,000 back, plus the 3 years of interest that you've made, you're going to make $78,000, or you're going to walk out total with $78,000. So the longer you keep your money in with us, the more of a return you're going to get. But let's say you really were like, Roham, I can't extend anymore. I want to get my money out. I'm buying a house, I'm buying a rental, whatever. That's fine with us, as long as we have that set agreed upon term. And, typically before the term ends, I'll call you about 90 days out, 60 days out, and 30 days out, just to make sure we're on the same page on what you wanted to do. And if you really wanted out of the deal, that leaves us with 3 options. And all 3 of these options we might explore to see which one makes the most sense. the first, we might refinance the property. If we've been able to pay down the equity enough that we can just refinance you out of it, we'll do that and just pay you out. Our backup option, if we really need to, we can sell the property, take the proceeds of the sale to make sure that we get you paid off with the equity we have in the property. And then finally, which is our most common option, is replacing you. And so what we typically see is we have a lot of interested investors that might want to jump on these opportunities to make a guaranteed 10% on their money. And so for those investors that might want to partner with us, they might want to take your place. And in that case, they might give us that $60,000, and then we just write them a check for $500 a month every month now, and then take that 60 that they gave us, give that to you, and then put a note and deed of trust in their name for the property now. And so these are the different options that we have for our private investors that have come on the call today. If any of these interest you or you'd like to talk further about this, I have a link to my calendar where you can book a call with me. We can talk about how much capital you have, how much you're looking to invest, which strategies most interested you, and discuss what kind of returns you would get based on your position. So if you guys like, I'll throw that in the chat and then we'll just open it up for questions. And boom, that's it. Oh, last thing, sorry. Last thing to close you guys off, we want you to understand that working with us, this is not something that we're trying to use your money to go do a deal and then never talk to you again. For us, we're interested in building a long-term relationship, both in our business, with the community that we serve, and with our partners and private lenders. And so a lot of times right now, we can see that much of the common ways of hiding your money and putting it under the mattress are no longer as safe as we thought they were. If you were, thinking about putting your money in crypto, the stock market, NFTs, all those markets are down, where they've continuously been the safe place to put your money for the past few years and months. And they're not seeing the kind of growth that they have before. With us, inflation's rising at a point so fast where if your money is working for you, you're losing money. So just keeping your money in the bank ain't going to cut it. And that penny from Wells Fargo every month ain't going to cut it either. And so we look at every deal with the market in mind to ensure we get a solid return and our investors' money is invested in good assets. Even with this market, we're extra conservative on every flip that we do. We take about 10% off of the market value just to ensure we're buying these at a profitable point. And so if you are serious about working with us, we would love to talk to you some more, talk to you about our process, and talk to you about the different deals we've done in the past and how much our private lenders have made previously working with us. If you're serious, here's the link to book a call with me, and then we can get on a call and make this available. Cool. And then that's pretty much it, y'all. Yeah, I'll share the slide deck.
So do you do a Q&A at the end of the
I would
Zoom?
do a small Q&A, yeah. I prefer doing like individual Q&A. So like the whole book a call with me, like if you have more questions, I'd love for you to book a call with me. Because then that way, like you're talking to someone and they're already like interested, right? And that way too, if someone asks a question that turns people off, I don't want to turn off everybody, right? So like for me, I'd open it up for a question or two, but I would say, I'd rather like spend this time, get to know you guys, really talk to each of you. And then if you have more questions, book a call with me. I'm happy to answer any questions there.
Hey, Roham, I got a quick question.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
So one part that I'm still somewhat confused on, because I personally need to get more clarity with is, so outside of the one of the proposals that you pitched, which was the 50-50 equity split partnership, prior to that, you did give a brief example of what a private money lender looks like in a situation that would be considered, I believe, gap funding. In that scenario, how does the note and deed of trust work for someone that would be in a second position, if that was how they're stepping in? Yeah, it's a great question. So normally when you have a flip, for most investors, they're going to go get a note and deed of trust with their hard money lender, because the hard money lender is going to cover a majority of the purchase. And so they'll have a first position note and deed of trust for the hard money lender. Now, for any lenders that come after that have interest in the deal, but the amount is less, significantly less too, than what the first position lien holder has, they're going to next put whoever has the greatest amount as the second position lien holder. Okay, so they're going to have second position
note and deed of trust on the property. So they're still going to have a note and deed of trust, but the hard money lender is going to be in first position. The second position is going to be your private lender. Now, if you're private lender savvy and he's actually talking to you about this stuff, he's going to know that one, being in second position, typically you're taking on more risk, because what happens is if the property does get foreclosed on, right, what's going to happen is it's going to basically fall into the lap of the people who have a note and deed of trust on it. And so when they see that the hard money lender, he covered like 90% of the purchase, 80% of the rehab, like he's got a majority of his money in this deal, and you've got, you know, like 5-10%, they're going to be able to auction the property and then give you like a small percentage of what they were able to recoup from the property. So if someone partners with me as a private lender, they're still going to have a note and deed of trust there to secure them. But the honest truth of it is they typically have a little more risk involved if we were not to perform and the first position lender was actually going to foreclose on us and then take over the property and then you know, auction it or whatever they were going to do to get their money back out of it. They're going to go and explain like, hey, here's how we auctioned it. Here's how much we got from the auction. Here's the portion that we're able to give you. Right. And so as a second position lender, you're taking on more risk, because if the property does get foreclosed on, you're not in control of the auction or how much you're selling it for or how much you're getting. That hard money lender is going to have first position, and they're going to get to decide those things. Now, where we make up for that a lot of times with our private money lenders, and this is something I've done, we will offer a much better interest rate to our private lender than necessarily our hard money lender, because our hard money lender might charge 10 to 12%. That's pretty typical, right? But on that deal that I gave you guys as an example, let's say I needed $60,000, right, to go flip this house. $60,000 at 10% interest in a year is $6,000, right? If it only ends up taking me 6 months, I'm only paying you $3,000. Now, instead of paying you 10% interest, what if I paid you 20? Paying someone a 20% interest rate is a very solid return, right? Like that's a very attractive thing that you offer them. And then what ends up happening is I flip the property. It takes 6 months. And instead of me paying them only $3,000, I pay them $6,000. If I'm able to go make 25, 30, 35K per flip, I'm able to afford paying someone an extra $3,000 to do the deal, right? And so that's kind of where I would be with my private lenders that did have some concerns. I typically would even offer anywhere between like 10 to 20% on their returns. So that way, hey, yeah, you're in a more risky position, but you're going to get a much higher yield and return on your capital than you would in other position.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I also have a second question.
Yeah.
One of the things that I kind of learned too, not too long ago, is that though this may be a better question for like an attorney or so, but there's a lot of, you know, little weird things that we're supposed to kind of stay away from. And I know like one of the things is actually giving guarantees.
Yeah.
What's the threshold when it comes to something like that in terms of like when you're giving a presentation and you are mentioning a guarantee? When is it like, okay, this kind of crosses the line for using that term or
that's a really good question, because you're right. There's a lot of rules around like the SEC and stuff of like being able to guarantee people returns. And so what I'm not doing, I don't guarantee that you're going to get 10% interest. I guarantee that whatever money I promised you were going to get, I will pay you back. Right. And so like, there's a very big difference between that and me saying like, hey, I'm guaranteeing that you're going to get this interest rate on this property. Because to do that, you need to be like Pineda Capital. Like you have to have like a real estate fund and like actually be qualified by the SEC to say some of that stuff. And so that's why I usually typically use examples. So like when I said like most private lenders, typically here's an example of a deal that we would do at a 10% interest, blah, blah, blah. The other thing too is like when you're usually in like a small format, like let's say you did exactly what I said, you posted on your Instagram and then you get people in a room like this, I'm okay with you guys like giving them an idea of like what that interest rate would be and stuff like that. What you don't want to do is just go post on your Instagram, hey, who wants to make a 10% interest rate with me guaranteed, right? Because then like everyone can see that. And so like, I'd rather you guys, if you were going to talk to people about this stuff, make sure they're serious and interested. And so you just say, hey, if you're interested in partnering with me on some real estate deals and making some money and learning about real estate, Like that's all your advertising looks like, right? But once you actually get on the phone with somebody or you get in a call with a few potential private lenders that are interested, then you're able to talk more about the numbers and the examples. And I'm reading a book right now and I need to finish it. I just haven't yet, but it goes more in depth on what you're able to say and what you're not allowed to say. It's what's his name's book, Jay Connor's Where to Get the Money Now. I'll put the link in the chat, but basically, if you want to learn more about private money, I definitely recommend this book for all of you guys. It's $7. You just have to pay for the shipping. I'll put the link in the chat. But we had this guy actually on one of our rookie coaching calls not too long ago, one or two of them. And that's kind of what motivated me to make this call for you guys after reading his book a little bit. And so you can go on his website, order the book. It's $7. You put all your info in, it's $7. It's a really good book on private money, and it goes over like some of the do's and don'ts as well. But yeah, that's the main thing. If you're just going to advertise, just make sure you're very vague in your advertising. Like, hey, you're not putting any specific interest rates or anything. Just say, hey, I'm looking for some partners to fund some real estate deals and make some money and potentially learn about real estate. If you're interested, hit me up. And then when you're actually on the phone with that person, cool, go tell them about like the typical deals or examples of deals that you've seen and done in the past. And if you haven't done a deal yet, you could say, here's a typical deal that my mentors have done. And this is what they've done, right? 10% interest with their private lenders. And so if you're giving them an example of something that's happened versus promising them something that you're going to do, it's a very different situation, right? And so if you haven't done a deal yet, this is what my private mentors have taught, or this is how my mentors have taught me, how they flipped so many houses and how they're able to do so many deals by using other people's capital. And this is like something that they've done, for example. And then you pull up a property. Let's say one of my mentors bought this property for $300,000. Their hard money lender would cover 80% of it. 80% of it would be 240. So they need 60. And then they would find someone like you who had the 60. And then let's say they paid you 10% interest. This is what that would look like, right? And so you're giving them an example, right? But you're not guaranteeing that that's exactly what's going to happen. Just this is an example. And then also, like in our note and deed of trust, it actually has the percentage, like, hey, if you and I agree we're going to pay you 10% interest, like we're able to talk about that and negotiate that and put that in a writing. Like you don't need an attorney or anything special from the SEC to do that. So you and an individual can discuss rates. It's just you can't go out there promoting that you provide that. Again, not legal advice, so definitely, do some more research on that as well. But that is what I've had work for me. At least I've only had to do it like 3 times and I've raised like 3.5 million so far from like 5 people. And like a lot of those people just came from this program. So like if you guys are active in the community and like getting to know other students in the program, like you can definitely raise money just from other people in the program. It's an expensive program. Like people need money to get into this, so they're going to have money. So yeah, definitely tap into some of the other students in the program, because we have students all the time who are like, I have no time, but I have money. I don't know what to do because I can't make offers because I don't have time. Well, it's like you need to partner with these guys who have time, but don't have the money to go do their next deal. And then that way you guys can make some money together. Orlando, you got a question? You're muted, brother. You might be on the phone. All good. Anyone else got a question? Cool.
Hey, Roham, I just wanted to reemphasize what you just said about networking with people in the program.
Yeah.
Through the program, I've hooked up with a wholesaler out of state, and I'm buying deals from him off market for rental properties.
Okay.
And I'm going to double my doors this week
Let's go.
from meeting this guy.
Good stuff, dude. How'd you meet the guy?
I posted about Roofstock a while ago, and he said he was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
He's already got a ton of doors, and so now he's just wholesaling, instead of, because he's got enough to manage as it is. So he's pivoted to wholesaling, and so now he's feeding me deals, and I'm buying them.
Nice, dude. Nice. Okay. Like I even got something similar out of the program recently. I have this guy. I met him at this short-term rental event I helped plan. And the guy was on like Shark Tank and like sold one of his businesses to one of the sharks, or like part of the business to one of the sharks. So like he's a cool dude, super high level, like just loves talking like business and doing like a bunch of like little ventures, and like he's got like a million things going on. The guy wanted to buy like an Airbnb here in Vegas, and like I was helping him explore that, but it doesn't seem like Vegas is very Airbnb friendly. So we're exploring some other options for him in that sense. But he's buying a lot of Airbnbs in different places. And like right now, he's buying them in Virginia. And there's like a certain market in Virginia that he's in. And he's like, hey, Roham, I found this apartment building for like $800,000. It's got like X many units. Can you help me like broker this deal? I'm like, okay, well, one, I've never done a commercial deal. Two, I've never actually like listed anything on Airbnb myself. And three, what was it? It's in Virginia. I'm like, I'm not in Virginia, but I like sit there and I was like, okay, I could tell this guy like no, or at least like, hey, like I can't like be the agent on file representing you, because obviously I'm not like a California licensed agent or a Virginia licensed agent, but I can help you make this deal happen. Because he's like clueless when it comes to real estate. Like he's like, I've never worked with a private lender. Like I have private investors that want to partner with me, but I don't know like how to like get them in the deals and like just do a note and deed of trust. I was like, I will walk you through the deal, get you your agent out there. And then I was like, oh, wait, I know an agent who's in his market in this program. And so I'm like calling her now and saying like, hey, have you done commercial in Virginia? Do you have a commercial lender? Okay, great. If you have those two things, we have all we need. And a lot of times I was just like, I could have easily said no to this guy because I have no idea like what the Virginia market's like. I have no experience in the commercial side. I haven't done a ton on the Airbnb space, but I was like, honestly, I probably have all the tools and information to make this happen. I just told him, I was like, honest, I was like, hey man, I've never done commercial. I've never done deals in Virginia before. And I've never bought an Airbnb personally, but if you're willing to work with me, I can help you, one, structure the deal to make sure this makes sense for you, your private lenders. B, I can help us find a good commercial agent out there, help vet them. And what I'm going to do is if she decides to take the deal, I'm going to be like, hey, send me half that commission. And so I'm going to get half of her commission just for referring her the deal as a real estate agent. And so once she gets the deal, I'll get half the commission there. My partner that wants to buy the property, he's going to make me a partner in the deal and actually give me equity and a percentage in the apartment building. And I was like, I'm not doing anything special. Like I'm literally just calling a real estate agent for him saying, hey, I have a guy who already found a property he wants to buy. He just needs an agent to facilitate the transaction and a commercial lender. And he already has private lenders. So he just needs help getting a note and deed of trust set up to get the private lenders in on the deal. So I'm like, all I need is a good commercial agent out there who's got a commercial lender, has got a good attorney or title company. And I can make this deal happen for this guy. And he's only bringing me in the deal because I know more about real estate than he does. And I'm sitting there like, I've never done a commercial deal. I've never done it in Virginia. I've never been in Airbnb. And I'm like, I can do this. This is easy. Like, I just need to call one person who probably has the 2-3 things I'm missing. And now I've got a deal that it's like a 40 unit apartment building for $800,000 that we're going to Airbnb. And I'm like, I didn't do anything fancy. I just called one agent who I know out there. And if she doesn't know anyone, I'm going to spend the whole night just calling like 8 to 10, 20 different agents in that market till I find one that's done some commercial, has a commercial lender. Because this guy's ready to go. He already has a property, a seller, like they've already negotiated the price. Like literally we just need an agent to come and slam dunk the deal and a lender to step up and cover the majority of it. So the main reason I share that story is like, it's all just from the stuff in the program. I'm only using students in the student directory so they get money too. And then, she's going to get a commission out of this deal. And it's like, I'm just relying on what I've learned from you guys. And like, now I'm doing a big ass deal. So that'll be cool. But yeah, the network is the most insane part of what we do, guys. Like you're typically one person away from the ability to make a lot of money.
Is the whole building going to be Airbnb?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to Airbnb like this entire apartment building. And again, like, I don't know for sure. I have to like go do more research on this and like make sure what the Airbnb regulations are over there and see if there's any rules. Like Nevada has a weird rule where like Airbnbs here can't be within 660 feet of each other. So like if they have any kind of rule like that, I might be in trouble, but we're going to just go and do more research and do this all during our due diligence to make sure this makes sense. But And I was just honest with the guy. I was like, dude, like, I'm 100% honest with you. I do not know for sure I know what I'm doing, but I think I have a general enough idea. He's like, you know more than I do. Let's do it. I'm like, all right, bro, sure, cool. Let's do it. I'm not going to just pass on it. If you're down, like, I'm willing to go through it and learn with you. And he was like, yeah, I want to like learn and go through the process with you. I was like, cool, like, let's do it. We'll figure it out together. I'll keep you guys posted on that one.
For sure. I'm interested. I want to see what this. I want to see how your Airbnb a whole unit. That's beast mode right there.
Yeah, he was like talking about the numbers. I was like, dude, let's just like slow your roll. Like, I think we can make a lot of money on this, but like, we got to even see if this is possible first, and like, if we can get this deal funded and all that stuff. So, no, and like, I literally would not be able to do this if I just didn't bump into this guy at this short-term rental event. Like, it just happened so miraculously that like me and him were standing next to each other for more than 5 minutes. I said what's up to him, he said what's up to me, and then like we hit it off, and now we're about to do a deal together. You know, like, I didn't go prospect, I didn't go like try to find this guy. Like, I was just working an event, helping these guys throw a short-term rental event, and me and this guy talked for 5 minutes, and now we might be doing a deal together. So the networking side is like insane.
Hey, Roham, I have a question. So let's just say that presentation you do with someone who has the capital, they want a specific market,
Yeah.
and they're looking to do short-term rentals. Let's just say we found the deal, we figured out a way to help them get financed. What would be a good return on our investment to present to them? What would be a good equity split, or maybe not? Like, how do you go about what questions to ask to see what they're looking to get out from it?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I guess that's going to depend on the person too, right? Like, are they more interested in actually like learning about real estate, or are they more interested in just the passive income, right? Because if they're just interested in the passive income, well, cool. Like, I want 100% of the equity. I don't want to give you any equity, right? I'll just make you a private lender, and like, you can get your 10% interest and be cool with that. But if they're serious, like they want to be vested in the deal or have part of the deal, okay, well, we're going to facilitate around that, but you're not going to make as much maybe in the interest because you're going to be an equity holder in the deal, right? And so like, get an idea and feel of like, where are they coming from and what's their motivation? Like, is it just making passive income with their money, or they want to learn about real estate too, so they can start doing deals? So if they're more on the, I want to learn about real estate too, so I can do real estate. Okay, cool. Well, if that's the case, you're going to be a little more hands-on with us throughout the process, right? So like, when we buy the property, we're deciding together whether or not we want to buy the property. We're going to look at comps together and see what we think. Now, obviously, you know, in the back of your mind, like, I know way more about comping and evaluating deals than this guy does, but like, I'm going to present the picture very cleanly where he can understand like, oh yeah, I see where you guys are understanding. Like, this is how you determined ARV. You went and pulled your comps. Here are your 5 comps. They all sold for X price around what your ARV is. Your rehab, you've gotten 3 different contractors who've given you quotes, and like, you know, you've had great reviews from these contractors with other flippers in town, stuff like that. And then for them, is it like, are they going to be hands-on with, let's say it's a flip, for example? Like, I've had lenders that were like, yeah, I want to be involved, like help you pick materials and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, but like, you're not going to like be picking much. You know what I mean? I'm going to guide us, but you're going to be on a Zoom call with me as I'm picking the materials out and stuff like that. If he was just funding the deal, I'm not going to waste my time on a Zoom call with him. Right. So I guess like how involved they want to be is something where like, I'll treat them a little different and like walk them through the process more and be like, so we're between these 3 contractors. I really like these 2 for X, X, and X. And I like this one for X and X. What do you think? I'd ask him for his opinion, but I'm probably not going to change my decision much based on his opinion. Right. But he's going to be involved in the process. I'm going to ask him questions as if he was a partner, knowing in my mind, I'm probably already going to make the decisions throughout the whole way. So that'd be the first thing. And then the second thing is like, okay, if you want to do more of like a rental and more of a short-term rental, long-term play, then if that's the case, then they're typically either very much capital focused, where it's like, yeah, just give me that return on my money. That was the best part. Doing a year, 10% return, like that's what I want. Or they're more like, yeah, I want to start buying rentals and getting into these myself. Well, then if that's the case, then with rentals, it's going to be a little different, because with the way I talked about doing it, that's where my guy's still just a private lender, right? Where I'm paying him that $500 a month every month. He's just a private lender with the note and deed of trust on that rental that I bought. right? For the example that I gave. For you, if you wanted to give them equity in the deal, right, then you might need to start an LLC where they're a co-owner of that LLC to be able to have equity in the rental. Let's say you give them like 20% of what the rental's equity is. Well, like it's going to be in an LLC that you determine, like you're 80% majority holder, he's a 20% shareholder of the LLC. And then that's exactly how you determine, like, hey, you're going to get 20% of this, I get 80% of this on the equity side. So if that's the case, it's a little bit of a different story just because you're actually like going to start an LLC with them. And in those situations, it's like, again, same thing. They're probably going to, hey, if I'm giving you equity, so that means when we rent this out, you're getting 20% of the monthly cash flow. If we ever sell it, you're going to get 20% of what we sell it for. If that's the case, then interest is going to be a very different conversation. Oh, for sure. All right, y'all. That was it for today. I got to go jump on another call. I hope you guys got some value out of this. And if you guys got any other questions, shoot me a text. Roham in school.
Thanks, Roman.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Of course, brother.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.